So we're going to show you really quick how to sanitize all of the tack after each lesson that comes in. So again, after each lesson, not necessarily after each course is used, but after each lesson. And you really want to soak it. So what Liana is doing right now is disinfecting the bridle and the reins. Now the bridle and the reins, they only need to be disinfected because the bridle is synthetic leather. The reins, they do need conditioner on the edges here because that is leather. And what you can do is go ahead and hang that right up in the tack room once you're done. And they can just dry in here. You know, the reins go over here and the bridle will go on the wall. Very nice. And I'll have someone assigned to leather lotion the reins every once in a while. We're only using the rubber ones and the cloth ones right now though. So now we're going to do the saddle. Again, you're going to soak it. This disinfectant has to be layered on and let it sit to dry. So while it's drying, that's something you can do where you walk away. You want to get under the flaps, making sure you're getting the stirrups because the teachers touch the stirrups to adjust them. Make sure you're getting the stirrup leathers. And then under the flap, you need to get the billet leathers, okay? Those are the ones that go into the girth. Paying special attention to the buckles. And then when I let them dry up over the saddle flap so that they don't stick to the saddle when it dries. Because as you can see, this saddle has already gotten like a mark from the actual stirrup leather, okay? So now we're just gonna let that all sit and dry. For the girth, you're going to go ahead and pay close attention to the buckles and then give a little light squirt on the cloth. And you're going to let that lay down on the bottom of the rack. Good. And then for your saddle pad, you're just going to squirt all over, a nice light squirt, that's okay. Focus on the outer edges because that's where we all touch them. Remember both sides. Perfect, and you're going to let that lay underneath the saddle rack as well. Now for the gel pads, Liana has one over here that's kind of like a nylon cover. Be careful with those ones. Don't put too much disinfectant on them because they start to peel as this one is. The fabric ones you can put more on. If you have a foam pad, just go ahead and leave those ones alone because we don't want the foam to dry out. And you can just put the gel pad on top of the saddle pad. So the next step here is to do the leather conditioner. So the one we have right now is this leather CPR. It might be different. Just look for anything that says leather conditioner or leather lotion. And this is really simple to use. You're going to take one of these small sponges, which again is over on the green stand in the bucket there. Just take one of the small sponges, squeeze some on, and you're going to be reapplying, so keep this conditioner nearby. And you can never do too much. These saddles are getting a lot of disinfectant on them right now. So obviously we want to be as sparing as we can because we don't want to go through resources and whatnot. But if you put too much on, don't worry about it. And you're literally just going to do every part of the saddle again that you spray. Particularly focusing on these stirrup leathers, because they dry out easy. So we're going to definitely focus on them. I can't really do this with one hand. I'm sorry, I lost my model. She had to go home. And you're going to do all the stirrup leathers. Drop the sponge. Okay? And then you want to make sure, well, there's two stirrup leathers. You want to make sure that you move it from this metal part, because this part here is the most vulnerable because it folds in half around the stirrup. So this is the most vulnerable for breaking faster than any other piece of this leather. So make sure you move that and lotion underneath it, okay? You also want to get under where you sprayed down here. Again, focusing on those billet straps because those dry out quick as well, okay? So that's the easy part. The saddle is the only thing that gets conditioned because the bridle is synthetic. Once you're finished with doing the entire thing, obviously let it dry again with the stirrup irons and stirrup leathers up over the front of the saddle like that so they don't stick. And you're gonna flip the card to the next one, which is the green one. And this says lotion applied on the saddle only. When dry, go to step 3, which is to put it away. So if I were to walk over and I saw the blue card out, but the saddle looked dry, I would know that it's ready for lotioning now. If I were to come over, the green card is out and it looks dry, that means it's ready to go back into the tack room. So the card is just a way to keep track in case it's a shift change and say Liana was working on this and now I'm the one here. As you can see, Liana had the blue card out and she left, so now I know that this still needed to be lotioned and I can finish it up. Alright, and that's basically it. If you have questions, ask any of us. We can help you put this into use, okay?